Okay, I would now like to guide you through our BFit practice session, our basic session. Because it's basic, though, do not underestimate the power that it can have to deliver the benefits that we've been discussing in the other tapes. So we start this practice session with being aware of our posture, keeping a straight back, off the back of your chair, feet flat on the floor, and just straighten up and settle in. Now close your eyes. We do our practice sessions with eyes closed, just to stop some of the competition that could be coming in from the visual sense door. Eventually you'll do this in your regular life with eyes open, but to start with the closed eyes, okay? We start all our sessions by observing our breathing patterns and how they impact our body. So now just start with focusing on your stomach. And you notice as you breathe in, there's a rise in the stomach. You breathe out, there's a fall. You can even say those words to yourself. Just rise and fall. As best you can, breathe through your nose. And you'll see as we progress that the ideal is to take twice as long on the exhalation as the inhalation. So you could have a 2 on the inhale, 4 on the exhale, or 3 and 6, whatever works for you. So now just continue to look at the rise and the fall in the belly for another breath cycle. That's good. Now move your awareness to your chest and do the same. A little more subtle, but it's there. The inhalation is a rise, exhalation a fall. And then bring your awareness to your nostrils. And just start to breathe in that same pattern. This time observing the in and the out. Now as thoughts come into your mind, which they will for everyone, just catch yourself when you can and gently but firmly come back to the focus, which right now is breathing through the nose. Your main job now is just observing what is in real time, the present moment. You may notice that there's one nostril is more predominant than the other. Just observing what is. Then go back down to your chest. Continue doing the same. At the chest again. And then back to the stomach. Now take a minute in your own time without guidance and just pick one of those locations that seem to call to you the loudest. Stomach, chest, or nostrils. We call this your breath home base, that which you just feel most comfortable with. So just do that now for about a minute in your own time. Use your labels, rise or fall, in or out. Now, if you get pulled into a thought content, you know what to do. Just catch yourself, gently but firmly come back to being the observer of sensations from breathing. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to sensitize you to just some different parts in the body. We start with the left shoulder, the left arm. On your next inhalation, I'd like you to tighten that region, say to the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, tighten. And then release 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do the same with your right leg. Tighten progressively to the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And that slow release, paying attention to the sensations. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cross back over to your left leg and your left hip. Tighten. And release. And then back over to your right side, to your right shoulder and your right arm. Tighten on the inhale, paying attention to those sensations. And then the release. That's good. Now bring your awareness to your face. And just start at the forehead and slowly work your way down, just infusing each of those muscle groups in the face without allowing this intention of release. Just through the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the jaw. Just intending that release and relax. And then come back to the chest. And back to the stomach. You'll find as you observe these locations in your day-to-day living that stress and anxiety can sometimes first manifest in the stomach. In the chest region, we often have the angers, the irritations first manifesting. And certainly the arms and the legs will always be touch points to pick up on just a less than optimal response to a life situation. So that's why it's important to practice this awareness, release. Now let's leave the body in the background and do the same with the thinking mind that we just did with the body. So we're going to use the same observer, the same witness, but now we're going to apply that to the ways or the forms that we think. So thinking happens to everyone in two main ways. The first way is words or sentences. Right now, say some words to yourself. Be aware that you're doing it. Now, when that happens spontaneously, we call that a talk thought. Some of you will think mostly in talk, but others may think more in mind movies or pictures. Just to sensitize yourself, intentionally bring in maybe the picture of a sunset. Maybe the face of a loved one. Now, whatever representation you had there, we call that an image thought. So now we're just going to sit back, something like a how a cat might look at a mouse hole waiting to see what comes up. And you're just interested in the form or the way that thoughts arise. For now, the contents are relevant. We just want you to sit back and just see. As the thought process comes up, are you having an image or are you having talk? Use your labels, just use either of those words. Your only job is just to observe what's happening. It's not to make anything happen, definitely not to shut anything down. We're just being the observer, the witness of, once again, the present moment. So start that now, using your labels of image or talk. And once again, if you get pulled into the content, you know what to do. Just gently but firmly come back to being the witness of the form or the way. Just stay with the focus. You're just the observer of the mind bringing certain thought forms. You're observing, infusing with that same allowingness release that you gave to the body sensations. No attachments, just observing and allowing. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to add, optionally here, some of you may want to just continue with the two balls in the air of image or talk, but others may want to add the two more subtle ways that thinking happens. The one is that, gosh, sometimes there's just nothing happening. It's just flatline. So if you experience any of that, just label that none, as in nothing's happening. And then the fourth way of thinking, if you will, is that there's some things that happen, that arise, that are not flatline, and they're definitely not a clear image or talk. So for any of that experience, just label that some, as in something's happening. So now, if you like to take this extra bit, you've got 4 balls in the air. None, some, image, or talk. Or if you prefer, just stick with the image and talk. Do that now for half a minute or so. Just being the observer of the way the mind creates our reality. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now leave that observing the thinking mind in the background. And we're going to now look at any feelings that you may have. There's no preference here. You're just observing just as you've done before here. You could have neutral feelings. You could have feelings of impatience, frustration. You could have feelings of calm. Just whatever your experience is, just label that to yourself. And we work with feelings at two levels. One is that emotion that you're aware of. But we also know that every feeling we've ever had starts in the body. So every feeling you have, if you look real close and through this training, you'll be able to start to see when a life situation brings you into a body sensation that's the seat of the source of feelings. And we can just nip them early and just watch them happen in the body and let them expand and contract, just like we've done with looking at the breath and the belly and whatnot before. So just observing any feelings. So now you've experienced the full experience of BFIT, mindfulness practice. B stands for body, image, and talk, and feel. Now I'd like you to, it's a little bit challenging here, and either go to your breath home base for the last minute of our practice, or else try to put them all together. Just designate all of your BFIT, your body sensations, your feelings, your image and talk. Designate any part of that as your field of focus. Once again, you're just going to sit back, be that observer, and label when your awareness is pulled to a body sensation, or it's pulled to one way that we think, or even a feeling. So just do that now for half a minute or so. Just practice pulling it all together. Okay, that's great. Now let's wind down this practice session. We like to end our sessions with a couple of forms that we go through. The one is gratitude. Never miss an opportunity to be grateful for just being alive. I say things like, I'm so grateful for just having one more day. Grateful to be a part of your life and this teachings. And just grateful for all that I've been given, the opportunities, food, shelter, love, whatever comes to you. And then next, make an intention for the day. Something like, I intend to be the absolute best that I can be today. However I meet the day, whatever it brings to me, I'll give it my best. Just something simple like that. And then finally, we always like to add in being the best we can with other people who we meet. Who knows where we're going to meet today, but there may be some difficult folks or people who are difficult, or there may be just friends or whatever, but we're going to bring our best to help them be their best, okay? So when you're ready then, just open your eyes and we'll just debrief that a little bit, okay? Okay, so now, if I were with you and I were to ask you, did you think mostly in image or talk? You would have an answer. You'd say, well, it was mostly image, or maybe it was mostly talk, or you may say it was both. But virtually everyone that does this exercise has one of those experiences where they've actually watched this thought form arise. So what's the big deal about that? What's the significance of this? How can this be helpful in one's life? Well, consider this. I suggest that this is not a stretch to say this, that because you were actually able, or part of you was able to watch an image or talk arise, or many of them, that means that you activated a part of you that is not your thoughts. See, the average untrained person goes through their whole life having 40-odd thousand thoughts a day. And if they don't know they're having those thoughts become them. And those thoughts create certain actions that may not be optimal. Those thoughts come from, as we've been discussing, this PFP, these primitive predispositions, the nature us, and our filters, the nurture us, and these brain priming that we get from our culture and whatnot. That's what makes up most of those thoughts. And if you don't know you're having those thoughts, you act on those, often in less than optimal ways. It drives us. We just don't even know it. But now you've experienced, maybe for the first time in your life, actually watching your thoughts arise and pass away, arise and pass away. And you do this enough, not too many more hours. You do this, and you start to get it, that your thoughts and your feelings are just another part of your sensory system. They are not who you are. Who you are is consciousness. You are the conscious being that can experience all of this and then move towards messages, sensory systems that are positive, but let the negative ones go by. The dealing with the difficult people and the criticisms and all that. We can just be conscious in the moment and watch the rise and the fall of image or talk or whatever, body sensation, but not let it override us. The moment that we stay present, we now become not attached to those sensory systems. We have our smell, touch, taste, and whatnot, but add these two of feelings and thoughts to that. That's the first thing we took out of that little session. Number 2, it gets better. Now, most folks that do what you've just done will say that, they had a little bit of calm, at least, relative to maybe how they normally start their day or drive through traffic. It was a little bit calmer. Well, to the extent that you had any degree of relative calm, you activated your parasympathetic nervous system. That parasympathetic system is the part of you that is cooperative, caring, compassionate, intuitive. All of those qualities come from that system of harmony, of likely started way back and communicating and connecting with herd members or tribe members or band members or family members. But there is that part of us that gets activated in the brain. And that's what you activated in just that little 15-minute exercise. And it gets better. If you do this for a total of 25 hours, this is collectively a total over maybe the next 6 months or so, you will have accumulated, say, 25 hours of practice. From the University of Wisconsin, Dr. Richie Davison and many others have shown this research. You will have some of your parasympathetic system turned on all day long. Just by this cumulative doing this exercise, where you bring your body and mind into harmony. So let's leave that now. This is our first practice session you've done. We'll be using this and applying this to compassionate action, to stress rehearsal, to even taking our suffering and just significantly lessening it as the future apps come on this. But for now, this is where to start, and we so implore you to practice this for 10, 12 minutes, most days if you can, okay? Thanks for listening.